Hey, baseball fan, time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
Oh, I've got to have my coffee. Got to have some coffee before we get kicking here. Thank you for tuning me in. I am the big guy. This is Cardboard Meditation. I just got this great vibe today about baseball cards, and it's totally unscheduled video. I didn't plan on doing this. I just kicked on the computer, pulled up the software, and started talking to you because I have like 3 or 4 ideas all bouncing around inside of my head all at the same time for some content. And if I don't write it down or if I don't record it, I'm going to forget some of it. So this might be all over the place, I suppose. But if you could, just stick with me because I think some of the stuff you're going to see is interesting. Okay? What I did do, first of all, is I'll tell you how I got here. I went looking for some cards that I'm going to have in an upcoming video. And I didn't find what I was looking for, but what I did find was a lot of these things. If you've been around for a while, you know what these are. These are the box sets. Oh no, we're not going to go through all of these. No. In fact, what I did is I picked out 3 of the best box sets that I think exist from that era. And that era was like the middle 80s, early to middle 80s. And man, there were a bunch of them. I'm not kidding you when I say there could be as many as 25, 30 different box sets. And that's not including the updates from the regular manufacturers. That's just sets that Topps and Fleer and Donruss put together quickly because they needed to make hay while the sun shined because people were buying these things up and they weren't going to lose the opportunity to sell that product. They just kept mass producing cards, and it seemed like all the players were the same. Will Clark, Jose Canseco, Tony Gwynn. They're just the same guys in each one of the packages. Cal Ripken, just repackaged, rephotographed. It felt like a cash grab. But when you were stupid like I was at that time, you didn't notice that. You didn't recognize that until you got 15, 20 sets deep into it. And then you realized what was going on. But there were some quality box sets. And I just want to show those to you. But before we do that, I want to show you one video that I created for a player that I'll get to in just a minute. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to show you just 2 pickups that I picked up and how I think these are probably some of the most fun cards that I've picked up. I don't know either one of the players. I've never heard of the set. It was just a great surprise that when I got these. So I want to go over that. And then I want to go over Edwin Jackson. He's a 17-year veteran of the major leagues, and he has a record. So I'll go over that record in a minute. Okay, we're all set. Let's go over my pickups, okay? These are from 2002 Fleer, and they're an insert set called Box Score Debut. Let's just take a look at the first one here. Never heard of Earl Snyder. Played for the Cleveland Indians. He was a first baseman for them. And what I like about these is, first of all, they're numbered. And this is the back of the card. Yeah, this is the front. Like, what's all this? What's unique about this? And if you're a person of my age, you're just amazed right now because you know what a box score is. If you're a younger collector and you haven't done this sort of thing, because I don't even know where you would go anymore, because you'd have to go online to look at box scores, and I've been online looking at box scores, and I'm not impressed with the way they've got them set up. This I understood, and here's what it is. You know those debut patches that everybody's chasing the Chrome products for and spending thousands of dollars and that sort of stuff. These cards, well, they were kind of like a precursor to that. This is a box score. This talks about the entire game that this guy's first debut was played, and he played in the game. So what it does is it shows the entire team's performance for that game, and this one is from April 19th, 2002. So it's right at the beginning of the season. Earl Snyder went, and he's a pinch hitter in this game. And I can't tell right now without getting more light on the subject. He came in as a pinch hitter, and he went 1 for 1. Did not score a run, did not get an RBI, didn't steal a base, but he did get a hit, so he was 1 for 1. And as of this card, his debut card, Earl Snyder hitting 1,000. It's a beautiful card. You can actually trace the game by looking at the box score and his debut. I found this to be amazing. So I didn't know what it was. I bid on it. And I won it for 50 cents. Who gets cards for 50 cents anymore? Okay, that's Earl Snyder's. This one is Ben Howard, and he played for the Padres. He was a pitcher. There's his box score. He came in as a relief pitcher. Came in for through 5 innings. Gave up 4 hits. No, he gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, and his ERA was 1.80. That is a pretty impressive debut. And again, look, there's the entire game right there in front of you. You could trace down everything that happened with that debut. And again, it's numbered. I checked into this because the card set is 15 cards deep. Then there's no huge stars in it. About half of them are like these guys I never heard of, and a few other ones that are, I think Hanley Ramirez is in it. I think that might be the biggest star. I might be mistaken. I don't know. But I thought this was so cool. I'd never seen putting a box score on a baseball card. And this was genius. So I'm going to collect these. I do have like insert sets that I collect. I may not collect that the base set that the inserts came from, but if I see an insert set I like, I go after it. They're easy to complete most of the time, and they're normally not very expensive. But I don't think I'm ever going to find them for 50 cents a piece anymore. But that was just a purely lucky sort of find. And I'm excited about these cards and how I'm going to get started on collecting the set. Now, before we get back to these boxed cards here, I want to talk about Edwin Jackson. Like I said, he had 17 years in the season. He played from 2003 to 2019. He was a 6th-round draft pick for the Dodgers, and he was actually drafted as an outfielder, and they converted him over to pitching, and he excelled at pitching and became a very good player in the major leagues eventually. Now, the record that he has is he has played for more teams than any other player in Major League history. He replaced Octavio Dotel. I think Rich Hill was also tied with Dotel. So the two of them had, I think, 13 teams. He's at 14. And one of the things I realized when I started to look into this, investigate this, well, I'll tell you what happened is I have a card here I'm going to show you in a minute. I found this card while looking for other cards for the show, but I found these box sets, and I thought, wow, I remember him when he played for the Tigers. I love this guy. He was really good. And why did he bounce around so much? You know, there's a lot of other players like that, too. There's guys that just bounced around. They were good, like Rocky Colavito. I think he played for 5 different teams, and he kept moving on. And it was shortly after, he played well somewhere. And there was just lots of other guys that's happened to. And I always wondered why, if they just stuck with one team, what would their records look like? Would they be Hall of Famers? Would they be just better than the way we're remembering them? But I'm getting off track here. So I went ahead and I made a video for you. Now, like I said, 17 years in the 17 seasons. He played in the big leagues with 14 different teams. So what I did is I took a baseball card, if there was one, for every single year he was playing, and I put them up. And you're going to be able to see the progression of his career in baseball card form all the way from 2003 to 2019. And there were some years or partial years where he didn't have a card of that team, so I made them up. I made the baseball card, so you'll see them and it'll say custom card or something like that. So 60 seconds. Took him 17 years to do this. You're going to see it in his entire career in 60 seconds. It's amazing, isn't it? 60 seconds, you saw the entire career of one guy, even though he was around for 17 years, which surprised me when I did the research on it. Here's the card I want to have you look at. You've probably seen these before of other players. I'm a Tiger collector most of the time. I collect everything, but I really love Tigers. And I don't really collect a ton of autographs, but, this one was neat. And it's a picture of him up there in the corner, and there's his signature on the sweet spot, and that's what this is. This is the 2009 sweet spot insert card, and I just thought this was really great. It's numbered 161 out of 350. I don't know if that really matters. There's 350 people out there just trying to get at this card, then I suppose I'm holding on to something really valuable, but I don't think it is. But, he wasn't a bad player. He was an all-star in 2009, World Series champ in 2011 with the Cardinals. He threw a no-hitter. He threw a no-hitter as a member of the Diamondbacks on June 25th, 2010, and that was against the Rays, a team that he played for. Did I go over his stats? Probably not. He was 107 wins and 133 losses. He had a 4.78 ERA and 1,508 strikeouts. He wasn't bad. The 107-133 record may not be indicative of his talent, but when he played for the Tigers, he was pretty good. And he pitched for some other teams where he was pretty good. And I just want to give him his due and celebrate the record that he does hold. Okay, let's get into this. I had said before with these box sets, I was looking for something else, and I just here. If you're never around, hang on a second, because it's that time again. Thanks. Back in the early 80s into the mid 80s, and then probably closer to the end of the 80s, the decade, they were still making these, although at that time I was ignoring everything. Card manufacturers were just manufacturing cards for everybody. They made them for other companies. They made them for themselves by giving them a special collection title. And we'll go over that in just a second. And like I said, I got kind of deep into those, and they were just like tugging away at my budget. I wasn't able to buy other base cards and other cards that I liked from these seasons because I was blowing it on, $3, $4, $5 boxes of cards that all I did was look at them once and put them in a file. And then like I said, I got wise, stopped doing it. But one of the things I did notice, there were 3 different sets that I own. There's a ton more, and I'm sure they might even be better than these. That the quality of the card, the content of the card was pretty good. And I just want to show you those. We'll go over them quickly. I'm not going to waste the rest of your day, but just to have an idea as to what they were doing. It's like these cards, Topps made for Rite Aid, and they are the collector's edition. Rite Aid's collector's edition. And it's like I said, it's got Jack Clark and Tony Gwynn and Cal Ripken and Wade Boggs and Wally Joyner, because those were all the big stars at the time. So a lot of the guys that are in this set are in every single set that I'm going to show you from here on. And that's why we're not going to take them apart and look at them. Here's another Topps set that they made for themselves, and it's a collector's series. You know who's in it? Roger Clemens, Jose Canseco, Dave Winfield, Don Mattingly, Tony Gwynn. It's the same guys that are in here. There's different cards, different pictures. Here's one for KB Toys, the Young Superstars of Baseball. Now, these are all the young superstars like Kirby Puckett, Dwight Gooden, Tony Gwynn. Who else is in this? Mariano Duncan. Really? Got a lot of guys like that. So you've got some really decent rookies, and then you've got just other guys that were in these sets. Here's one by Fleer, and this is a limited edition baseball all-star. So these were actually all-stars. They come with some of those stickers that these guys are known for. It's a lot thicker. There's more cards in here, I think. But this one has like Pete Rose and Cal Ripken and Kirby Puckett and the same guys that are in the first set. Here's another Fleer set. This was the limited edition 1985 baseball logo stickers and trading card box set. It's the premier set. You know who's in it? Ozzie Smith, Darryl Strawberry, George Brett, Wade Boggs. The same guys that are in, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it anymore because you know. You're a lot smarter now than I was a few years back. This is a Fleer set, and it's made for Walgreens, and it's a Major League Baseball league leaders. So this is the league leaders. Now there's a couple of guys in here that, you know, that are not in here. I'm not saying that's better. Like Joe Crowley for the White Sox is in this. Cal Daniels for the Reds is in here. There's some different cards, and with these cards now, if you're a player collector and you're trying to collect full runs and you're trying to collect just everything that the player has, these are beautiful cards to collect because you can just get one card now anywhere you want to go. They're on eBay all over the place, and you can. I do it with Trammell. I've got all of Alan Trammell's cards that are in these sets in my Trammell run. This is going to be the last one we just kind of show off, but Kmart made these sets. Well, they didn't. Topps did. Topps made them for Kmart for 3 years, 3 years in a row. Maybe not in a row, but 3 years anyway. And you know who's in this? Well, let's see. Ricky Henderson, Don Mattingly, Tony Gwynn, Will Clark, Jose Canseco. Yep. Now, I'm not going to show you the rest of the ones that I have because I'll embarrass myself by showing you how many of these I have. But I do want to show you 3 of the nicest ones. And I'm going to kind of thumb through them and just show you certain cards. I don't want to show you all 30 cards because that's going to be much. Let's start with this one right here. This is the complete collector set from Topps, and it is the 1986 Baseball Champion Superstars. Cost $2 for the set. Now I know what you're thinking. $2? What are you complaining about? Your budget. Well, you know what? You could buy 4 packs of baseball cards for $2 back then. Was that a decent trade for these? I don't know. The true collectors that like these things, they probably think it is. Now, one of the things I didn't like about this later on when I looked at it back in the 90s was the yellow border. I don't know what Topps thinks about yellow borders, but they love them. They love them. Look at this Don Baylor. If you're a Yankee fan, well, how do you not like that? Oh, you a Wade Boggs fan? Well, he's in all the other sets too, but his card may not look that nice in any of the other sets. These all have a really super high gloss to them as well. George Brett collectors are going to love that one. Here's one of my Tigers. Darrell Evans. I love that card. You know, back in my broadcast days, I lived in Battle Creek, Michigan, where there was a minor league team called I think at the time it was the Michigan Battle Cats. And this guy was a coach for them. And as a part of the radio station, we did a Homer Out Hunger thing where we put a team together and they assigned us a manager and we had to hit homers, and the team that hit the most homers won a trophy or something, and money was donated and food stuffs were donated. So it was like a big party, and I got to participate in it, and my manager was this guy. We didn't talk much. In fact, I just said hi, and he said hi. I wanted to talk to him so bad. I wanted to say, I read a story once that you saw a UFO or a series of UFOs. Can you tell me that story? But I didn't. Still like to hear the story. By the way, I did not win the home run here. Homer Out Hunger thing. That was a debacle. Out of 10 attempts, I only got 3. It's a nice Tony Gwynn. I don't know about you, but I love seeing younger Tony Gwynns before he got a little heavy and started forming that big lump in his mouth. I like this. If you're a Reggie fan, there's a nice Reggie card in here for you. I like this card too with Dave Kingman because he's with the Oakland A's. I just love Oakland A's uniforms. Yeah, I do. I'm one of them weirdos. I am one of those weirdos. But you probably knew that if you've been watching this show. Here's a real nice Donnie without the stash. I always get Eddie Van Halen vibes from him. He always kind of looks a little bit like Eddie Van Halen. Say something in the comments if you think so too, or if you think I'm full of it. Here's a card that I really like. It's Al Oliver. He played with Pittsburgh. He came up with Pittsburgh. I kind of like I kind of always liked the Blue Jays. I've always kind of liked them. And I just thought this was a great card of him. And of course, as of the other day, they're in the World Series this year, taking on the Dodgers. Game starts tomorrow, game 1. So we'll be watching that for sure. Here's a card that is really fabulous, of probably one of the greatest third basemen ever. I'll get the arguments going right now, but in my lifetime, I think this guy was it. I would say Brooks Robinson was a better fielder, but this guy was way better at hitting. Let's see. We're down to the last couple. Dave Winfield. Nice card. Okay. That was the 1986 Baseball Championship Superstars. That was my third favorite box set of that era. My second one, Toys R Us. I think this was 1987. I don't know. I think it is because it's got a lot of guys that you're going to recognize. And Toys R Us also did that set where they're inside of, the cards are inside of a vacuum-formed Toys R Us store, kind of like those stadiums they used to make, the vacuum form, but I used to have it. I don't know if I still do. Like I said, I used to just take my money, throw it to the wind. All right. Here's one. You know this guy? Isn't that a nice Barry Bonds card? According to this card, he's a rookie, and I'm going to take their word for it. These are nice cards. These are really quite attractive, and they are 1987 because everybody's looking familiar from that 87 set. There's Jose. Jose can jack one. And of course, here's the other guy that shows up all the time in this era, was Will Clark. Do you like the way these cards look? I mean, it's the quality of them, the black border, the whole rookie thing that needs to be, up on that card, so you can make sure that that's who they are. They're rookies. It says so right there. There's no confusion. Pete Incaviglia. He played with a lot of teams during his career. And he was pretty good for all of them. He played for the Tigers for a while. Here's another big star from 1987. Look at that. You know you want that in your set. If you don't have a Bo Jackson in your set, this is a good one to get. And they're not that expensive. I don't know what these box sets go for anymore. But I think no matter what they're charging, I think it's much more affordable than you going out and trying to buy a single card. You never know. I don't know. I could be wrong. Sometimes the single card's like $5, $6. You might be able to pay that much for the entire box set and have a lot of these left over. I don't know what you do with them, but here's one of my guys in that time. It's John Crook. Sweat stains all over his hat. He's just a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's a host on some shows. I think he's still on TV somewhere doing something. I don't remember what it is now. Let's see. I'm bypassing a lot of guys that you'd know the name of, but they weren't stars. Here's a guy that I always liked, Corey Snyder. Never turned out to be a star, but I saw him play a game, and I was so amazed by his playing style. Probably this year, in 1987, I sent in a 1985 card, because he played for Team USA, and he signed it and sent it back, and he sent me a letter, a handwritten letter, explaining how he is thankful for me showing some interest in his career. that was a very nice thing for him to do because I've been a fan all my life and all of his. Danny Tartable. I always think of him on Seinfeld because he went on to be a Yankee and a good one. Here's Robbie Thompson. It was his rookie year too. He has a rookie year in '87 Topps as well, but he's not one of the big ones. But he was a good hitter. You can check the stats. And last card in this set is, sorry about that. Well, not the last card, but second to the last card. Wild Thing. Okay, now I'm going to show you the card set that I liked the most. And anytime somebody says something about the card sets, because people make fun of them a lot, and because I can tell you, and I will agree with them, this is part of the junk wax era. They made a bunch of this stuff. It was cheap. It's just part of that era. So people think, oh my gosh, how do you get worse at buying junk wax cards? Not just the wax boxes. Buy these little cheap sets here. They're as worthless as can be. Not all of them. I'm going to show you every one of these cards. Oh, I didn't even show you the box. Let's do that first. It's Circle K. Home Run Kings. All-time Home Run Kings. That there, you know right away, you're saying, oh, is so-and-so in it? Is so-and-so? Yeah, let's find out. First card up, look at this. It's a pure picture. That's Lee May. Second one up is one of the cards that I absolutely adore. Hank Aaron. This guy, everybody knows him, because I think he was a pretty good home run hitter too. And then this guy, that is a beautiful picture of him. I love a good Willie card. Here's another guy. I hear people all the time go, he's very underrated in the hobby. He's not underrated. Everybody that knows identifies this guy as a 500 home run hitter, one-time Triple Crown winner, World Series winner, first black manager. He's not underrated. People know who he is. Harmon Killebrew, the killer. Another one of the favorites of everybody, Mickey Mantle. How do you like the photography in these so far? You like them? Do you like the cards? They're pure cards. They've got a border, but there's nothing else on there that just detracts from the photo. And that is Double X. Jimmy Fox. Here was Willie Mays' teammate, Willie McCovey, Stretch. Willie Mac, I guess that was his other nickname. And here he is, Ted Williams. Great picture. Classic picture. You know you've seen that before, and it just never gets old. Here is Mr. Cub. Don't bother him right now. He's too busy playing too. He's one of my favorite guys that are in that home run class. He's kind of an unsung hero, but Eddie Matthews was a great player, and he ended his career with the Tigers in 1968 on their World Series team. That's probably why I like him so much. Here's another great ball player from that era, Mel Ott. I guess not from the Eddie Matthews era. I just meant the older ball players era. He always had that step up, and more times than not, you'd see the bat start down closer to his waist. So it'd be down there, and then he would turn everything up to that kind of a stance. And then he would go on to club home runs after home runs after home runs, like this guy did. I love the photography. Can't believe I'm sitting here showing you a box set, but I think you're probably entertained by these photographs. This is Lou Gehrig. Here's Stan Musial. Here's Pops. You know, these cards kind of remind you of the giveaways back in the 80s where they made these things you'd send away for, or they were included in other packs. Yeah, they're kind of like that. In fact, they look much like those. Carl Yastrzemski. I like, you know, what I like when I like the Red Sox, which isn't all the time. I love them with these red hats and the black bills and the white uniforms. That is next to the Tigers and the Yankees and the Cardinals, that is the most classic Red Sox jersey there is. Makes me feel good to see it. Okay, sweet swinging Billy Williams. Already talked about this guy once already. Duke of Flatbush. I love the color cards. I love them. I love them more than I like the black and whites. They just make me feel good. They're just a beautiful moment in time. My favorite all-time player, Al Kaline. I'm going to say the greatest catcher in my era is Johnny Bench. Some people will say Mike Piazza. You're entitled to your opinion, as wrong as it might be. Here's Hondo, Frank Howard. One of these days I have to bring the bat in here and show you the bat. I've got a Frank Howard bat that he actually used, and he autographed it. Here's Orlando Cepeda. Baby Bull. Another one of my favorite players. Yep, because he's a Tiger. Norm Cash. I just saw something recently on Cash on YouTube about how he corked his bats. And there was no denying that. We all kind of knew that back in the 70s that he was doing that. And he even said that he corked his bat during the 1961 season when he became batted 360 and hit, I don't know how many home runs he had. Oh, geez, I forget now. 45, 40. I don't remember now. That's embarrassing. Anyway, he said he corked his bat. And they've proven that a corked bat doesn't do you any good. They say that it makes the bat lighter and you get a swing on it a lot quicker, but the bat loses its mass. And the mass that helps crush the ball is gone now because you've taken it out of the bat with cork or sawdust or whatever. So it's been proven that the corked bat is really not a weapon. And even though he admitted to cheating, he really didn't cheat. He just thought he did. Thought he got away with something. Those were his real skills in 1961 when he set that record for the Tigers. It's a Dave Kingman card again when he's with the A's. It's not the same picture. The other picture showed him in a batting cage, but I don't know why. I just love Dave Kingman in this jersey. My best friend Todd, he's probably thinking, what are you talking about? He looks better in a New York Mets jersey. All right. Another great Tiger, at least for a few seasons, Rocky Colavito. Here's Tony Perez. Here is Gil Hodges. Here is Ralph Kiner. This guy was a beast for about 10 years. He got injured, and that was kind of it. But man, oh man, legendary things. That's what he did. This is Johnny Mize, one of my favorite players, the big cat. And here's the last card in the set, Yogi Berra. And that is the all-time home run kings from Circle K. I wonder if you don't have this set. I wonder if you are now thinking, I could go out and blow $5 and put that in my collection. It's not bad. It's a nice looking set. He's right. I'm not saying you should do that, but I've never regretted owning these cards. And I've shown them to other people when they say, what are those? And people like them. I know I do. Hey, can you do me a favor and like and subscribe and that whole thing there with making sure the algorithm sees me and goes, hey, there's the big guy. Can you do that for me? Give me a little thumbs up too. I appreciate it. Talk soon.
Cardboard meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.